I think the theory of atavism is blatantly racist because if you're choosing certain features that contribute to criminality, I think when you look at those features and you think, where did these features come from, it's usually just different races other than Caucasian. So I think that it's racist and it's not ethical to put into use. We kind of put it into use with stop and frisk policies, but a lot of those are racist too. Another thing with the personality traits, a lot of people with ADHD have problems with executive dysfunction. And so when you have trouble with that, it could lead to impulsivity and forgetfulness and things like that. So I think whenever you take that into account, then yes, that could lead to crime. 25% of all incarcerated individuals have ADHD, but if you have ADHD, that doesn't necessarily make you a criminal, but if you're a criminal, you have a 25% chance of having ADHD if we're looking at those in jail. It's similar to the statistic where not all mentally ill persons are killers, but all killers are mentally ill. And it doesn't make you a bad person if you have a mental disability disorder or illness. And when you take those things into account, I think it definitely affects your personality. So yes, you could put that part of the atavism ethically into effect, but if you're just judging people based off of like if I tell you, I'm like, oh, I have ADHD, and they're like, you're a criminal, that's not how that should work. But with a lot of criminals, you do have to treat them very carefully, especially whenever you're arresting them or approaching them to arrest them. You don't want to agitate them, and you have to take into account how these individuals with these certain disorders act, so you know how to treat them properly. Like individuals with autism, they get very overstimulated, and what's going on in front of them, it's scary to them, and they are going to react differently than you would, and you may take that as violent, but it's not. So there are differences in how you should treat these individuals with empathy and not aggressiveness. Certain personality characteristics that can lead to criminal behavior, like when you're a young child, if you're like torturing or hurting small animals purposely with no purpose, like when you hunt, and you're just killing them for funsies as a kid, and you're hurting them, you're putting them through much more pain than they need to go through, then that can lead to criminal behavior. An example is a serial killer, Israel Keys. As a kid, he would go out into the forest and he would torture squirrels, he would torture stray cats, and the whole neighborhood knew about it. And for some reason they gave this kid a rifle for some reason. Don't know why. But the whole neighborhood knew that he had this gun. They knew that he tortured these animals, and nobody said anything about it. And that was the major problem, is whenever people recognize, like, oh, this is a problem, but they don't tell anyone, that's how it slowly ramps up and leads to killing people. So you have to stop the behavior right then and there, or else it will escalate and get worse and worse till they actually kill someone, or continue killing people if they don't get caught. So that's the big problem with these personality characteristics, is even when we see them, we just brush them off, which we shouldn't. So I think that's one of the big things with atavism, where I kind of get the personality side of things, but with the actual physical looks, I think that's pretty racist.